The deadly July floods led to a new state law meant to protect children at camps, but some camps say that law will force them to shut down.
I've seen it before where legislatures create laws that are ostensibly good, and when it comes down to implementation, they do great damage.
Why some camp leaders say they need to change the law to keep from closing. The Texas Attorney General wants to make it easy for anyone to make a complaint about who uses a public bathroom.
Imagine you have a 12-year-old that's trying to go to the bathroom and get changed, and they see a grown man in front of them.
It's called the Texas Women's Privacy Act, but the plan to enforce it has some people worried about an invasion of privacy.
People desperately want change. They know our system is broken.
Texas Democrats have a lot of choices in the race to decide who challenges Greg Abbott. We'll hear from the top candidates making their case to win your vote.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dylan McKim, in for Josh Hinkle this week. After the deadly July floods, state lawmakers approved a law requiring youth camps to have fiber internet and a backup internet connection. It's meant to ensure reliable communications during a crisis. But several Texas camps say that requirement is impossible to meet before next summer. Capitol reporter Adam Schwager talked to the executive director of one of the largest camps in Texas, who says a lot of his fellow camp leaders worry the law will force them to close.
Are we going to be closed? Am I going to have over 2,000 upset families and campers this summer because I have no fiber?
Dan Neal is the owner and operator of Camp Double Creek in the greater Austin area. His camp, along with several camps across the state, fear they could be forced to close this summer if a new rule from the Department of State Health Services requiring a fiber connection is finalized for this summer.
I have two campuses, and one or both of those will not have fiber by opening day, is what I'm being told, and this is not my choice.
The new rule stems from the Camper Act, passed by the Texas legislature in response to this summer's deadly floods.
Camps don't have fiber optic broadband, a lot of them. A lot of cities don't even have it.
Eddie Walker is the executive director of Mount Lebanon Camp, which has about 12,000 annual campers. He estimates at least 170 camps don't have easy access to fiber broadband through a preliminary survey conducted by Camping Association for Mutual Progress, a camping lobbying firm. Walker says they came to that number through cross-referencing camp addresses with the FCC's map on fiber broadband access.
One camp got a bid of $1.7 million to get fiber access. And the deal is, even if you could get it, getting it before May is just, a lot of times it's 18-month turnaround time.
Ahead of the rulemaking process for DSHS, the author and sponsor of the bill, State Representative Drew Darby and State Senator Charles Perry, sent a letter to Commissioner Jennifer Shuford saying all the safety provisions are required to be in effect for this summer, except the fiber broadband provision. Quote, "This distinction is both important and intentional. We knew that youth camp operators would likely experience difficulty acquiring a fiber optic connection," they wrote. Despite this, DSHS still proposed the rule for immediate effect, with a public comment period ending on Friday. State Representative Brian Harrison, the only vote against the bill initially and one of only 4 votes against the bill on final passage, says the letter is a cop-out.
The buck stops with the elected officials in the Texas legislature. There was no reason for those provisions to be in the bill in the first place.
Harrison, who has more concerns than just the fiber provisions, says this might require a third special session to fix.
We could have stopped this thing, and tell you what, if we can't, the governor of Texas needs to get us back to Austin.
For State of Texas, I'm Adam Schwager.
Camp Mystic, where 27 young campers and counselors died, is moving forward with plans to reopen its Kerr County location next summer. Now, the all-girls Christian camp is installing a new flood siren warning system. Aluminum towers are being placed along Cypress Lake near Camp Mystic to support this system, developed by a Liberty Hill company, River Century. The technology is meant to issue warnings even in the event of power, internet, and cell service outages. Investigator Kelly Wiley reports from Cedar Park, where the company behind the sirens explains the technology.
At a shop in Cedar Park, the team behind River Century's new flood alarm warning system shows how they hope campers along the Guadalupe River will be warned to get to higher ground.
Takes about 8 seconds.
The 8-foot towers are meant to use light and sound to wake up campers and residents during a potentially deadly flooding event. The company has already begun installing the sirens at Camp Mystic's Cypress Lake location, according to camp officials. River Sentry says they're also working with other camps along the Guadalupe River.
The philosophy for ours is the towers that are upstream are going to provide the early warning for the downstream towers. So as soon as water's detected, lights and sirens go off.
The company's founder and CEO, Ian Cunningham, says he started developing the technology after the catastrophic floods that killed more than 100 people, including little children in the Hill Country and throughout Central Texas.
I thought to myself, this has to be solvable. Why are we still tolerating this in Texas? With all the tech and all the imagination and creative ability we have just in this region, why does this keep happening?
Are they going to be getting alarms every time it floods a little bit?
River Sentry is interested in guarding a line, the line between dangerous flooding becoming deadly flooding. That's why we want to intervene right there and not before that.
Apart from the camps, Kerr County also is looking into outdoor warning sirens after Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a new law requiring them in 30 flood-prone areas, along with the mandate to regularly test them. The county told KXAN the contractors for the county's sirens could be selected before March of next year, with testing starting by June.
How do you feel knowing that the testing of this technology, it will be a life or death moment?
The technology we're using is very resilient. This is a new recipe, but all of the components in this device have already been proven themselves in industries for years. We are just assembling them in a new recipe. Where River Sentry is starting to innovate is in the wireless range, where we're starting to bring, these towers and have them talk to each other.
Kelly Wiley, State of Texas.
We asked River Sentry if regulatory approval is needed for this system. They told us no, because they install private equipment on private property. As for cost, the company says it offered them to camps as a donation.
This looks like the Texas Attorney General encouraging private citizens to go out and act as private potty police.
The Texas Attorney General wants to make it easy for anyone to make a complaint about who uses a public bathroom. But the plan to enforce the bathroom bill has some people worried about an invasion of privacy. There's a full slate of Democrats running for the chance to face Governor Abbott next November. We'll hear from the top candidates, including one who appears to be rising above the field.